Jay, we don't want to read too much into what appeared to be the lines, but you got a couple of younger guys in Holloway and Lavoie, and I get the sense that, hey, you want them to kind of drive it a bit too. Does there come a point where, as we go further along here, where maybe there's a window or a mechanism to play him with a Draisaitl or a McDavid or maybe a Nugent Hopkins when he's in the lineup? Or do you still kind of want to see them in a scenario where they're sort of driving their own line that they're on the ice with? How would
I go about that? I think, I think we've seen good signs from both the players that you mentioned. I think, for me, preseason is about a little bit of experimentation as much as anything. They've both, as I said, had good moments. We'll see how it shakes out. That's the best part about preseason is at the end of the night, you want to make sure you've put people in certain types of situations, and then they show you. So that's what we're going to do tonight, make sure that we're very attentive in what the players are showing us.
I know you talked a bit about Dylan the other day, but just a thought, he's back in tonight, just a thought on what he's given you in the 3 games that he's played so far in the preseason.
Yeah, I've been pleased with Dylan Holloway. I thought, especially in Calgary, he had a very good hockey game. Now, he scored a goal. He played big minutes. But what I liked about was his value system on the hard plays that needed to be made. He made, at the end of the night, a lot more hard plays than not. And I see that as a sign of growth. But that was a few days ago. That was on Friday night. Today's Monday. And in training camp, it's incumbent that players get better every day. We're running out of exhibition games here. Yeah, we got 3 left. So that's an important distinction for all of our players that are kind of jockeying for position here. So I think he'll have a good game tonight because he's going to build on what he laid down on in Calgary.
I believe Lavoie had only ever played 1 preseason game before this year. Tonight's his 3rd. What have you seen through his 3 preseason games, or his 2 preseason games so far?
Well, I really liked how he shot the puck on that 2-on-1. It was a great play from Broberg on the breakout too. But I liked how he got inside the dots, improved his shooting angle, and found a way to get it through. I think for Raf, he's had good moments and he's had some learning moments. You learn how good this league is when you're playing in it night after night after night. I think, as we work our way down these last 3 games, we should expect him to play a lot. He'll show us.
What have you thought of Gleason so far?
Gleason has been a very pleasant surprise. I coached against him in the American Hockey League a few times, so I had an idea of what he brought to the table. I think he makes a very good first pass. I think he's dangerous at the offensive blue line. I showed a little bit of spunk at the end of the game against Vancouver. He's somebody who is he's fighting for positioning within our D depth chart. He has the ability to play both on the right side and the left side. I would describe him as a heads-up kind of player that has shown well so far, but we'll see what he brings tonight.
When you get this far into the preseason, is it difficult to balance getting the older players up and ready and get ready for the regular season and evaluating young talent and who fits where?
Are you calling Connor and Leon older players? Hey, I'm just clarifying that. No, yeah, I'm just teasing you, Cam. For me, I would say, it's a balancing act because you want to make sure that your team's ready, while at the same time you want to know what certain people can do. So that goes back to Bob's question. So for me, it is a balancing act. In the end, most veteran players will see somewhere between 4 and 5 preseason games. Some of the younger bubble players that are fighting for positioning might see upwards of 6 or 7. That's the way things usually shake out in training camp. In the end, our goal is to make sure our people are feeling good on opening night in Vancouver. And so it's an important time for us. We have 3 left. Exhibition games are running out. So for those who want to make an impression, now is the time.
As it gets closer and closer to the regular season, how have you seen the internal competition playing out through the preseason?
That's been very competitive. I think, all the people in the positions to either crack our lineup or move up the lineup, they've all had some good moments. So it's, and this goes back to Bob's question as well, it's important that the coaching staff and management group are actually watching and evaluating quite closely, because the players are telling us something every time they go out on the ice. Our job is to make sure that on opening night we pick the right 12 forwards, the right 7D, and the right 2 goaltenders.
If you were to identify a theme through this preseason, what would you say that would be for this team?
Blue-collar work ethic. I think our players have really demonstrated a high work rate. There's been moments that we haven't loved in preseason, but they're few and far between. There are 5 to 10 minute stretches there, but for the most part, we've been ultra competitive. We focus on certain areas of our game. We're seeing some positive signs with those areas. But in the end, it comes down to the work rate of our players. They're working at a very, very high work rate. It's a credit to them. It's a credit to all the work that they put in the summertime to be in the position to work at that level. We felt that we've gotten in a lot of good practices, and they're working in the games. We're in a good spot.
Can you just speak to Brandon Sutter and his impact on the game and this team?
Well, first of all, I would congratulate him on an unbelievable career. Him and I and Ken had a meeting yesterday, and it's obviously an emotional time for him. He's a quality person, a quality player, and for him, he made the decision that he did. We support him 100%. I think, as he gets some things sorted out on his health front, he'll be a long-time NHL person in some level, whether that's a scout like some of his uncles, whether it's a player personnel person like some of his uncles, a coach like an uncle and his dad. He has certain attributes that I think will serve him well as he moves forward. And the biggest thing I wanted him to feel was our support, and great person, and wish him well.